the weekend, it's Sunday, and you know it's time for your weekly dose of Exfrontiers. Welcome to the show. My name is Nicole.
And my name's Ayanda, and today we are talking all things robotics. But did you know, apparently the world's next industrial revolution is approaching, right? And apparently by 2030, half of all jobs will be lost due to automation.
A scary thought for some, but not for all of our Exfrontier viewers, because today's show is all about robotics and how you can be a part of it.
Oh yes, and that's why we're going to be joined by very awesome guests who are literally bringing robotics to life. But before we check them out though, let's head on over to Cape Town to check out Edro Robotics, who are connecting ordinary teens to the latest trends in robotics.
I'm a teacher. My name's John, and I'm born and raised in Cape Town. 2 and 8 is left wheel goes forward, right wheel goes forward. So that seems right. Okay. 2 and 8 forward. What is Edro? We do many things, but our number one goal, as I always say, is to get kids coding. So we work with children aged 9 to 12 in our junior programs and 12 to 15 in our high school programs.
I'm Jude, I'm 14 years old and I'm from Fisher, Cape Town. I started building robots a good 4 years ago now. I guess my first real robotics experience was I got a kit for a robot for my birthday, for my 11th birthday. And I guess that was my first real experience with robotics, and I built that, and from then on I was hooked. I absolutely loved it.
My name is Gemma, I am 13. I've been at Edro for 2 terms, and during that time we've been working on the Arduino robot. I think the skills that I'm learning will help me with all my computers and stuff when I'm older.
I'm 15 years old. My name's Stefan. I've always just been really curious with tinkering with things. Originally, I was just curious to learn how people write computer games. So I started off with Python, which is another computer program. I was just curious to see how the language that you're working with on the computer actually applies to making something do tasks.
So we have a curly bracket, and then the sky is your limit. After that curly bracket, you can put in lines and lines, reams, essays of code if you want. Things that take you days to scroll down. You can put that all in there. And all you have to do to make that a function is close it off with your curly brackets. And now, whenever you say the word func, all of that will appear. So robotics is the intersection of 3 different disciplines, 3 exciting disciplines. The first one is programming. If there's no programming involved, it is not robotics, it's not a robot. The second one is electronics. If there's no electrical engineering or electronics being thrown into it, it's not robotics. And the third one is mechanics. So if there are no moving parts, if nothing is twisting or turning, it's not robotics. Where you get those 3 things, electronics, mechanics, and computer programming, you've got robotics.
The robot would be the tool that does the jobs, whereas the computer is what tells it how and why to do the jobs.
One of my favorite things about the Arduino, the microcontroller that runs these robots, is it has got a far broader scope than just robots. You can use it for pretty much anything. I've used it for security systems. Seriously, you can use security sensors and stuff. People have used it to make automatic coffee machines that make their coffee in the morning for them.
I'm Lilike, 14 years old, and I'm just from Fisher. We started working with the Arduino, learning about variables, and then not too long ago we actually started building the robots, which was, again, a lot of fun.
We find that working with robots, kids really begin to see their code come to life and take a form that you can't see when it's limited to a computer screen. When the code is able to be downloaded onto a robot and move about a maze, or draw a pretty picture. all of the principles that they've learned come into play, and that learning just sticks. And that is what Edro is about, teaching kids to code through robotics.
The thought that with ones and zeros, which is like the base of coding, you can make things move. It's like a crazy concept to me.
My absolute favorite thing about robotics is making things that do things. Like, I absolutely love being able to code something on the computer and then build something in real life and then have this thing at the end that actually performs a function, whether it's measuring soil moisture or testing for distance. I love having that, being able to do that.
So if you want to learn more about coding, I think robotics would definitely be the next step.
So Edro is preparing itself, realizing that as South Africa and the world wakes up, we'll be ready for it. We have the curricula, we have a proven model that is working with hundreds of children that are passionately engaged in our programs.
All right, welcome right back to it. Now, today we said we're speaking all things robotics, and of course, we're going to be exploring how robots help our lives as well as solve some of our problems, which is why we're so excited to have in studio today Richard Nangs, who is the Director of Technology and Innovation at Parklands College, as well as three of his very, very talented students. I'm talking about Luke, Keegan, as well as Noah, who also have been explored to the wonderful world of robotics. So, to the four of you, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Exfrontiers.
Well, thank you, Anna.
Awesome, awesome stuff. Now, you guys do a lot of work, so I'm going to start with you, Richard. Okay. Can you tell us a bit about, robotics at Parklands College and how you got involved in that?
Okay, sure. So we've been involved in robotics for quite a while now. We originally started in 2010, but we started to realize how important it was to develop the kind of skills that we saw robotics developing in our children. So what we did was we integrated it into our curriculum in 2014, and we made it a compulsory subject from grade 1 all the way through to grade 8. And why we did this is because it offers our learners opportunities to solve real-world problems.
All right, Richard, that sounds awesome, but I know that, it's not only in the curriculum that you expose the learners to robotics. I know, you venture out into things like the World Robotics Olympiad as well as the first LEGO League. Now, that sounds like, something quite grand. Can you explain to us what that's about?
Okay, so this links completely in with what we're trying to do in our school. We have something called the Parklands Mind. And the Parklands Mind at our school are the skills that we want our kids to have when they leave school.
That sounds very exciting, so I'm going to ask the learners themselves to explain to us. Let me start with you, Luke. I know you've been part of the World Robot Olympiad, and I know there are a couple of categories within that event.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, so basically there are three main categories, and in those categories there are different age groups. So we have the regular category, which is more of a board-based game. We have this WRO soccer, which is obviously like soccer with robots, which is pretty cool. And then we have the open category, which is the one I participated in. Every year they give you a theme, and then around that theme, like the challenges are based, and the problems are given that you have to solve around that theme. Yeah.
Awesome, fantastic stuff. Noah, let me come to you. I want to know from you whether, a lot of the work that you do, does it come from within the team, or do you get a lot of input from your teachers and your coaches and stuff like that?
In my spare time, I normally do some research on what shall I do, how shall I do it. And if we're really struggling really hard, we'll ask the teachers for some help. And they say, okay, just try and think it another way. We will keep on thinking until, we went over the hump, and we eventually will get it, and then we will know what to do next time if it happens again.
Awesome, fantastic. Keegan, I know you've been part of the first LEGO League as well. Can you take us through that experience? How was that for you?
The FLL is really fun. I've enjoyed a lot of the experiences we've had there. There are lots of different teams from different places with different solutions. This helps you get your thinking developed. So it gives you a whole new mindset about how you could think to stuff, and that's helped us a lot with team building exercises.
Sure, fantastic. Now, Richard, you must be so proud of these bunch, and I'm sure they're learning a whole lot. But I want to know from you, what's the next step for Parklands College when it comes to robotics and just using technology?
Okay, look, I mean, these children are doing the most amazing things, and these platforms, the WRO and the First LEGO League, have allowed them to come up with inventions. So we want to continue that, and we want to grow that. We want to create more inventors in our school. And what's next, what's beyond that, is we're starting to look at the Matrix and the Tetrix robotic sets, which just they're metal sets. It takes it a little bit further. and they do exist in those categories as well. In the WRO, it's in the advanced categories, they solve more advanced problems. And we also want to link up with the tertiary institutions and possibly get involved in some of their real-world problems with robotics. So we're looking at setting up partnerships with those organizations.
All right, cool, awesome stuff. So here in Exfrontiers, we have a very cool tradition where we get to ask our guests to choose the hashtag of the day. So since you are the chosen guests for today, and since you guys are so awesome, we're gonna ask you guys to choose this hashtag. So what will today's hashtag of the day be?
Go Keegan.
Today's hashtag will be hashtag Go Robotech.
Okay, so hashtag Go Robotech. Are we all cool with that?
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. So we're not going to let you go just yet because we still want to explore some of your cool gadgets. And you guys will still be around with us, yeah?
Yes.
Fantastic stuff. So there you have it, hashtag Go Robotech. Make sure, of course, that you're heading over to our social media platforms and let us know what you think of today's show. All right, cool. Now, keeping with all things robotics here on Exfrontiers, today we're going to be doing things a little differently. We've got 3 teams joining us now from Parklands College who are going to be taking us through some of the robots they built in the competitions they entered that we spoke about earlier. So joining me now is Coach Nikki Smith as well as Liam, Noah, and Graydon from Team RoboDog. Welcome to the show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. So let's start with the coach. Nikki, can you take us through the process of building these robots and your involvement in that?
Well, with this team, we've been working together for 9 months. We were given a challenge, and then I see which groups work. They worked very well together. And then my role is just to check that we're on schedule, guide them, mentor them, and most importantly, check they don't strangle each other when things get too much.
Awesome stuff. Speaking about holding on to things and strangling, now I'm going to ask you to take us through the robot since you have it in your hand. Okay. What does it do and how does it work?
The red block means now my bin's full. Now you have to take it to the dump. If it's blue, it's empty. Now you take the red block, collect it into this compartment, and once you've collected it, you must drop it over here with the blue blocks, or we have a yellow block for the challenge. So now we take all the red blocks to the dump, which is the yellow zone, and we must come all the way back to school in the red zone under 2 minutes.
Oh, wow, that's pretty impressive stuff. So we're going to see it in action in just a bit. But before that, let me ask you, Liam, what was your involvement in making this?
Well, we all helped each other, and my role was mainly programming.
Awesome stuff. All right, so Graydon, how long exactly does it take to assemble it and put it together before it goes and does the job?
It used to be half an hour, but now we always practice and we got it down to 12 minutes.
Awesome stuff. Sure. Okay, I'm pretty ready to see it in action. So shall we see it?
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome,
yeah.
Cool. Let's go for it.
So when the robot runs, the yellow block must drop. That was the challenge we were given in India. So now when it collects this red block, it's going to try and take it to this yellow zone and replace it with the blue block, which is empty, which means empty bin. Now, we are going to try and collect all the red blocks, place it with blue blocks, and take the red blocks into this yellow zone.
Oh, wow. So obviously, the red represents the rubbish, and the blue is obviously, then I guess, the cleaner version.
Okay.
Ah, perfect. Wow. Fantastic. Oh, wow. That's really, really awesome stuff. Thank you so much for coming through and showing us what you guys got, guys.
Pleasure.
Awesome stuff. So there you have it. If you're just as impressed as I am, make sure, of course, that you're heading over to our social media platforms and let us know what you think using the hashtag of the day, hashtag GoRobotech.
Welcome back, guys. So today we're talking all things robotics. And what impresses me most is not only the discipline that goes into the craft, but also the fact that everyday kids are using their skills to solve real-world problems. Right now, I'm joined by Mala Naidu. She is the head of robotics at Parklands College, as well as Team Infinity. Welcome to the studio, guys.
Hello.
So Mala, as I understand, is Team Infinity actually took part in the World Robotics Olympiad and took part in the open category. Can you tell us a little bit more about what exactly their challenge was in their category?
Okay. So Team Infinity, firstly, we have Luke Bowles and Stefan Cilliers. And the theme for last year was Wrap the Scrap. So they looked at they explored how they could use a robot to solve a real world problem. And with the limited availability of water being a real problem, they decided that they were going to create a robot that actually cleans the surface of large bodies of water.
Fantastic stuff.
Yes.
That sounds so interesting. But what looks even more interesting is what we've got going on here. So can you guys tell me, what is this contraption?
Well, this is our solution to the problem. So basically, we saw a major issue that a lot of projects were aiming to prevent litter from happening. And we saw that there wasn't a project that collected the litter that was already there, and there's a lot of it. So we found that in research that 90% of all the litter floated. So instead of trying to go underwater and so on, we aimed for just getting all the litter on the surface of the water, so like lakes, dams, rivers, seas, so on. And then with this, we bought our boat.
Okay.
Stefan can explain how it works.
So Stefan, I actually want to know from you, how does this thing actually work? Can you tell us a bit about the parts that are involved in this?
So basically, the idea is that given a set of GPS coordinates, you deploy multiple of these robots to patrol a certain area using these paddles, so it can move through denser waste. So these robots would go around large bodies of water, scooping up litter with the scoop.
Oh, wow.
It goes onto this ramp, into the containment module over here, and then it'll go back to a collection point where it'll dump the litter that is collected, and then it'll go back, collect more. And so you can deploy multiple of these, obviously, and then it'll speed up the process.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you so much for your explanations, guys. I know Ayanda's getting ready to talk to the final team about their robot, but before we check that out, let's have a look at this robot in action.
All right, so we've seen two robots already, one that will collect garbage for you on land and another that will do it in water. Joining us now, however, is Jess Rico as well as Team Hyperion Belts. Now, get this. These guys were the SA champs last year, and this year they'll be representing South Africa in the first Lego League World Festival in Texas. Ha! We are not playing. We are very serious, very impressive stuff. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
So let's start with you, Jess. Can you tell us the sort of challenge that they had to respond to in making this robot?
Okay, well, first of all, we have a robot game. You have about 400 points that you need to receive in 2.5 minutes. And you can break it up into various challenges. So, for example, our team, one of their challenges is they collect the bee and the pig and then go over to the refrigerator and then back. And then besides that, there's also a project aspect to the competition and then also a core values aspect.
All right, awesome stuff. Now, I know there's the project side of things and there's also the robotics side of things. And I know the ladies took care of the project. Can you guys tell me a bit more about that?
All right, well, the problem that we have decided to tackle is the horse bit, which is a piece of equestrian tack which rests in the gap between the horse's teeth. Now, this is actually a device of destruction, and it causes extreme injuries to the head and the mouth of the horse.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically our solution that we came up with was, instead of just creating a whole new bit and making people spend a lot of money on this new bit, was actually by taking the bit that they are using currently, and taking it to a manufacturer and taking carabiners, which are used in everyday things and can hold up to 2 tons of weight, and slipping them in the sides of the bit so that they can easily unclip and slide a piece of silicone tubing over so that it can cushion the bit from hitting the top of the horse's palate.
Sure, these are intricate things. Now, before we see it in action, I'm going to ask the guys, can you take us through the robotics side of things? How did that come along?
So there are all the different challenges on the board, and as Ms. Rico said, there are 400 points. So we've just taken our best 2 runs so far to preview to you guys. So in these 2 challenges, we're going to do the pig and the bee and the refrigerator. So it's going to take food from the refrigerator, which we can later use on in challenges to feed animals. Then our second run we're going to show you is we're going to deliver a shark to a fish tank, and we're going to push down the barrier so that the blind man is helped by a service dog.
Sure, okay, cool. So are we ready to see it in action? Shall we
Yes.
go for it?
Yeah.
Awesome stuff, take it away.
So what we're doing is we're trying to get the shark tank into the square there. Then our robot has to drive over the service dog. Then it will return back to base. I'm glad this worked.
Awesome stuff, done like true champions. Thank you so much for coming through, guys, yeah?
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff. So there you have it, man. Make sure, of course, that you're heading over to our social media platforms and let us know what you liked about the robots we showed you today, using, of course, the hashtag of the day, hashtag #GoRobotech.
Our incredible viewers are always sending us interesting comments and questions, and today we've roped Richard in to help us with these. What do you say, Richard?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, let's get started.
Okay.
Megan from Pinetown writes, my son doesn't really like sport, but is really into computers and such. I would like to get him involved in robotics, but his school does not offer it, and it can be expensive. Do you have any suggestions?
Yes, Nicole. Well, I have some good news, and that is that the World Robot Olympiad Robotics is now accepted as an official Mind Sport South Africa sport.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually receive your Protea colors in robotics. Okay, so
that's fantastic news.
Yeah. And just for those parents who would like to get their children started in robotics, if you're in Cape Town, there's an organization in the Cape Town Science Centre called SA Cape, and you can go in there and speak to them about joining their club, and they provide all the resources and kits that you would need to get started
Yeah.
in robotics, yes. And the same in Johannesburg, we have an organization called Hands-On Technology, and we also have another organization called Care for Education, and you can also contact them and speak to them, and they can provide the kit. Of course, there are 2 websites as well. The World Robot Olympiad website, which is wrosa.co.za, and the first Lego League website, which is fllsa.org. And you can enter teams there, join up. And just to reiterate, don't let resources hinder you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
because
there really are resources out there, and you shouldn't let that stop you from pursuing this. Thank you so much, Richard. It's been really fantastic speaking to you today. Megan,
Pleasure.
we hope we've answered your question. If you guys have any more questions, make sure to jump onto social media and ask us using the hashtag of the day, #GoRobotech. Ask away. Guys, we've come to the end of another awesome show. We hope we've inspired you to create some interesting robotic creations.
Oh yes, and you know that we absolutely love hearing from you, so please continue to hit us up online using, of course, the hashtag of the day, hashtag #GoRobotech. But from us and the rest of the Exfrontiers team, we'll see you next week.